Accidents don't just happen. Every accident is the result of unsafe acts and conditions that create the opportunity for injury and property damage. In this course you will learn how to control accident scenes, gather accident data, conduct interviews, and determine and analyze the chain of events that lead to the accidents. The purpose of an accident investigation is to find the cause so that we can prevent similar accidents and protect company interest. Investigation is a 4-step process. The first 2 steps happen just after an accident has occurred. These are controlling the scene and gathering information. The final steps involve data analysis and determination of the causes. As a supervisor, you may be the first to arrive at the scene. Whether it's just a minor injury or a major accident, you must immediately take charge to control the scene. Your first concern is to ensure that injured employees have been provided any needed medical care. This may involve simple first aid or more extensive medical assistance. If more than first aid is needed, call for emergency medical help immediately, especially if head or back injuries are involved. Please remember your first aid training and never move a severely injured person unless it is absolutely necessary. Let medical help come to them. Controlling the scene also includes preventing further accidents or property damage by looking for and eliminating all existing hazards that caused the accident. You may need to direct others to guard hazardous conditions to keep others out of the area. Obtain more help if you need it. Preserving accident evidence is also part of controlling the scene. This evidence is needed to help determine the underlying or root causes of the accident. The best means for preserving evidence is to place a barrier around the accident scene until evidence can be recorded. After conditions have been stabilized, the next step is to gather information about the accident. This includes taking photographs or making sketches of the scene as it exists just after the accident. Don't rely on memory. Include distances and measurements in any sketch that you make. Other vital information that must be collected includes who was directly involved in the accident, the date and time, job tasks being performed at the time of the accident, what equipment was involved, and a complete list of all witnesses. Gathering information from those involved needs to occur as soon as possible, so that memory of facts is not distorted by time. At this point, it is important that you remain calm and objective. Don't make any judgments or statements to witnesses that may distort their report. Either write down their statements or use a tape recorder. You can't expect contradicting information from witnesses. Don't try to correct or lead them in their statement. Just record the information for later analysis. Conduct all information interviews near the scene, one-on-one in private settings. Be friendly but professional. Tell each person you interview that the purpose of the interview is simply to gather facts and not to fix the blame on anyone. For each witness, record their name, address, and phone number. Ask them, what did you see? What did you hear? Where were you when the accident happened? What was the first thing you saw? What do you think caused the accident? Was there anything different than normal that contributed to the accident? Ask all supervisors, what are the normal procedures for activities involved in the accident? What type of training did employees involved in the accident have? What, if anything, was different than normal? What do you think caused the accident? And what could have prevented the accident? After all data has been collected or recorded from the scene and from witnesses, the investigation moves into the analysis phase. This includes gathering all photos, drawings, interview material, and other information collected at the scene. Use this information to determine a clear picture of the chain of events and what happened. Formally document this sequence of events. Evaluate the basic causes of the accident and write down the following. What unsafe acts or activities contributed to the accident? What material, environmental, and equipment conditions contributed to the accident? What safety controls were involved, and list the specific engineering, administrative, and training controls that failed. and how these failures contributed to the accident. What controls worked? List any controls that prevented a more serious accident or minimized the collateral damage or injuries. As part of the analysis, you should also record what was not normal before the accident, where the abnormality occurred, when it was first noted, and how it occurred. Now that you have all the information organized, you may start a change analysis. This process involves defining the problem. Ask yourself, what happened? Establishing the normal conditions or what should have happened. Identifying, locating, and describing the change. What, where, when, and what was the extent of the change. Include what was and what was not affected. Identifying the distinctive features of the change. Listing the possible causes of the accident and selecting the most likely causes. With all the information recorded and analyzed, you can now determine what needs to be changed or improved to prevent similar accidents in the future. Your final written report should answer the questions of who, what, where, and when. Include a list of all witnesses and those involved in the accident. Provide an account or sequence of events, extent of damage, accident type, and source of the accident. Write your analysis of the accident. This includes the how and why. List all direct causes such as energy sources or hazardous materials. List the indirect causes. What unsafe acts and conditions contributed to the accident and to what extent. Determine the root causes such as management policies, personal actions, or environmental factors. Include in your written report any recommendations that will remedy the basic, indirect, and direct causes. Be specific about what changes need to be made in employee training, workstation design or policies, and procedures. After developing a formal report, forward it for review and action. File a copy of the report and all raw data, photos, and interview notes into a single file so they can be easily located later. Thorough accident investigations can help prevent similar accidents in the future. Remember that your investigation actions should include controlling the scene, gathering data or information, analyzing information, determining the causes, and writing a final report.